Hi, this is Siofra Bradigan, and this is Siofra's Magic Alcove. So, I'm preparing for our Samhain ritual tomorrow, which I'm modifying from the ritual that I usually do with a larger group of people. Make it a little simpler, shorter. And I was looking over my notes and my book of shadows and stuff this morning, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to share some of that with you to help inspire people to, I don't know, come up with their own stuff, see how other people do it, and so forth. So, trying to decide what order in which to share this. Well, from the beginning, I guess. Um, First off, I have my quarter calls that I made. Of course, before I would do the quarter calls, I would draw the circle 3 times round, physical, astral, mental plane, to kind of create that container for the energy and for the ritual and the sacred space that we're trying to create. It's going to be interesting because this will be after we do the dumb supper, so it'll be a little bit of that kind of energy to start with, but I'm going to go ahead and do that tomorrow when we have it. Um, but once we get that done, then calling in the directions, and in this case, it'll just be Ian and I that are going to be doing the magical operation parts and so forth because it's just family. It's only going to be 6 of us, my daughter, my granddaughter, my son, and his wife, and me and Ian. And we're doing it this year together because everyone has lost someone from, uh, to death in the last year or so. And it's sort of becoming an important time for us, I think, in especially this year, because everyone who's going, pretty much, except for my husband, has lost someone significant to them. Although he's probably devastated also by our circle members' loss that we just found out about a month or so ago. Um, he tends to be quiet at these things, though, so he doesn't say much. Anyway, I write my quarter calls for the specific ritual or that we're doing. So each time I call in the directions and I write out the ritual, I kind of tailor the language, what I'm asking the guardians of the elements to bring to the table to help us with, and so forth. So these are unique to our Samhain celebration because this is what I wrote them for. And you can start in the north or you can start in the east, or I should say, start in the earth or start in the air, depending on how you have things set up. We'll probably start in the earth. So if that's the case, I guess I should get the earth in the front. And the way we'll do it is I'll do the earth, Ian will do the air and the fire, and then I shall do the water. That's sort of energetically how we like to divide up the elements if we're doing it together. So, starting with the earth, which I see in the north, but whatever it is that you envision the earth in, go forth. But these are ours. Powers of the north, spirits of earth, we evoke you. Lord Gobe, head of the elemental kingdom of earth, standing in your flowing robes of brown and holding a shield. We call upon thee to be present this night and to guard our circle with your might. Great tree, show us the hidden pathways that run above and below, within and without, and the connections between us, the past, the present, the future, life and death. Great gnomes, guide us through the labyrinth of your dark and hidden ways beneath our feet. Old crone, help us bring the wisdom of the eternal night into the land of the dead. Lead us through the shadows and lend us the strength to face our fears. Welcome to our circle, blessed be. So when you're doing an evocation of an element, of course, the important part is your focus and concentration, visualization, and so forth, as you're pulling the energy in and defining what you want it to be. So then, powers of the east, spirits of air, we evoke you. Lord Peralda, head of the elemental kingdom of air, standing in your flowing robes of yellow and brandishing a sword, we call upon thee to be present this night and to guard our circle with your might. O Griffin, guide us through the underworld. Make our minds sharp and clear. Help us to remember what we experience here. As we enter the land of the dead, may our eyes see beyond the veil. Welcome to our circle. Blessed be. And I guess I should explain that the animals that are in these evocations are specific to our circle, the tree being the earth, the griffin being the air, phoenix is fire, and water is the peacock. Again, specific to us. Powers of the south, spirits of fire, we evoke you. Lord Jin, head of the elemental kingdom of fire, standing in your flowing robes of red and brandishing a wand, we call upon thee to be present this night and to guard our circle with your might. O Phoenix, bring us the fire of transformation. Help us experience the irresistible force that is change and burn away our limited perceptions of what life is and is not. Welcome to our circle. Blessed be. Powers of the west, spirits of water, we evoke you. Lady Nexa, head of the elemental kingdom of water, standing in your flowing robes of blue-green and holding an ornate cup, we call upon thee to be present this night and to guard our circle with your might. O beauteous peacock, beloved of Hera, queen of heaven, bring us the ability to accept beauty and wonder. O undines, lead us through the dark waters of the abyss. Great ocean mother, bring us your compassion. Help us to flow with the tides of life and death and understand the twilight land of dreams, so we may follow our heart's desire. Welcome to our circle, blessed be. So that's how we would begin the ritual itself. And once we have the directions in, of course, then the next step would be calling in the god and the goddess. For that, I have to go to my book of shadows here because I've been making notes throughout, and I wrote those out specifically because we're going to be using them. But I did not do the invocations to the god and the goddess as yet. And so this was a combination, the invocation to the god was a combination of a couple of different poems and things like that I came upon that seemed to work for this. And when you're invoking a deity, be it a god or a goddess, the first thing is the call, the description of who you want to have attend, who you want to have come within the body of the priest or priestess who is going to represent the deity throughout the rest of the ritual. So here's for the god. Great traveler, sailor of the sunless sea that leads to the realm of dreams, help me cross the dark waters and enter the other world that lies between. Come to me, be with me now. Guardians of the gates that lead beyond illusion, open for us the door into the inner realms. Ruler of the dream world, give me eyes to see my reflection in the dark. Come to me, be with me now. Lu, Dionysus, Osiris, Damuzi, Tammuz, Endymion, walk with me in the shadows. Be the bridge between the living, the departed, and the as yet unborn. My mind, my spirit is open to your presence. With open heart, I welcome you to our circle. Be here now. If you don't have anyone to actually be the deity, you can stop it there and not do the one who is the deity. So this is Ian's part as the deity. I am the golden one, brightest warmth of the green earth. I am the crown of striving, gem of the heavens, first among lights. I am father of earth, eye of burning, fire of noontide. I am Lu, master of all arts, radiant light. I am he who is the sun. I am he who is the Lord and the light. I strike down the baleful eye of burning. Together with the sun, we must also know the rain. So together with joy, we must also know pain. I am the life and I am the hope. I am the death and the life anew. Without me, there can be nothing. With me, you can have all that you desire. I am the fire within your heart, the yearning of your soul. I am the hunter of knowledge and the seeker of the holy quest. I stand in the darkness of light. I am called death. I am consort and mate of her we adore. Call for to me. Heed my call, beloved ones, come to me and learn the secrets of death and peace. I am the corn at harvest and the fruit on the trees. I am he who leads you home. Scourge and flame, blade and blood, these are mine, and I give them to you. Call to me in the wild forest and on bare hilltop, and seek me in the darkness bright. I who have been called Pan, Cernunnos, Osiris, and Hades, speak to you in your search. Come dance and sing, come live and smile, for this is my worship. You are my children, and I am your father. On swift night wings I lay you at the mother's feet to be reborn and to return again. You who think to seek me know that I am the untamed wind, the fury, storm, and passion in your soul. Seek me with pride and humility, but seek me best with love and strength. For this is my path, and I love not the weak and fearful. Hear my call on long winter nights, and we shall stand together guarding her earth as she sleeps. So at that point, Ian would be the god in the circle. We have a solar mask that he sometimes wears. We're not sure if we're bringing all of our props or what props we're bringing, but so here's the invocation to Cerridwen that I use. Hail, white sow mother, keeper of the sacred cauldron, cauldron that brews wisdom, cauldron that brews magic, cauldron that brews inspiration. Hail, shape-shifting crone, keeper of the mysteries, fox and otter and hen. You have worn many skins, many legs, many faces. You know that truth is an ever-changing mirror, and that one piece is not the same as another. May we learn the dance of perspective, learning to be in each other's skins and thus never be completely tied to our own rigid views of the world. You work tirelessly for your children who are born less than blessed. Like you, may we understand imperfection, and like you, may we have compassion for those who are forced to bear it. Hail, Sow Mother, Lady of the prophetic pig, whose sprout points out the way to the future of fallen sticks, to the cauldron of transformation. Cerridwen, White Lady, transform us. Dark Mother, Bright Mother, you who keep the cauldron, you who are the cauldron of storms and tides, relentless and sure where mystery abides, and in abiding is born and dies by the sharp and merciful blade which serves the shade, by the burning drink, the food of gods and damned mortals alike. One word, one spell, one dream unfolding, each to the end, and there to begin again. Cerridwen, hear me, answer my call. Bright Mother, Dark Mother, hear me, be with me now. And this is the words of Cerridwen that I wrote. I am come as the dark descends at the end of day. I am inevitable, for death is the great equalizer and comes for one and all. I am the merciful one, for I hear your cries in the darkness and enfold you in my arms. I am the destroyer, for there is no secret you can hide from me. I am the dark, the mystery that lies waiting. Dare to look behind the veil, and you will learn the greatest of secrets, should you survive my mirror. For I am truth. Be brave, be strong, be weak, be fearful. It is all the same to death. Come into my arms and know. So as you can see, it is a somewhat intense beginning. And with the group, I would do, I base this ritual on the story of Inanna and Ereshkigal, the descent into the underworld. So I modified the challenge because I'm not really going to do the full-on method that I've used in the past, where I would stand as the guardian of the gate of each of the 7 gates that you have to pass through, and then issue the challenge. Then the person would have to name what it is that they were giving up, and then I would give them a stone that they could bring into the underworld and then bring back and reclaim when we were over. Symbolically, it's a way of trying to shed everyday reality and so forth. So, what I've done instead is, in this particular instance, I'm going to be stopping at the gate as I lead everyone down, and then I will say what the gate is and what we're supposed to set aside, and everyone will do as they can. I actually have fabric that I made in the 7 different colors for representing the 7 gates, the 7 chakras, which is sort of partly what this is based on too, that I can put up on a pole and then people can walk through the veil. And it sort of gives it a more visceral kind of feeling. When you're doing ritual, experiencing things directly is helpful to sort of bypass the conscious mind and kind of engage the unconscious. So, the first gate, set aside your title, for death is the great equalizer. The second gate, set aside reason and your perception of who you are, for the underworld is a place beyond our ability to comprehend with the mind alone. The third gate, set aside your attachment to the world of the living, for the journey to the underworld is one that each of us must do utterly alone. The fifth gate, set aside fear, for death is the great annihilator, and fear cannot exist amongst the dead. The sixth gate, set aside your sexual identity, for the dead are sexless. And the seventh gate, set aside your desire to exist as an individual, for the dead return to the source of all that is, without individual identity. And this is to prepare the person for being in the underworld, to communicate with um, the loved ones that will be called forth. And then after we get into the underworld, there's a chant, the Kore chant, which I got from Starhawk's book, which I really like a lot. And the more people that do this, the more, I don't know, cool it is. Her name cannot be spoken, her face was not forgotten. Her power is to open, her promise can never be broken. All seeds she deeply buries, she weaves the thread of seasons. Her secret darkness carries, she loves beyond all reason. She changes everything she touches, and everything she touches changes. Changes, touches, touches, changes. Change us, touch us, touch us, change us. Everything lost is found again in a new form, in a new way. Everything hurt is healed again in a new life, in a new day. And you repeat that a number of times to get everybody, the energy moving and building up in the room. And then after we do the chant is when I will call forth the dead, simply, not, elaborately. Each person will have their opportunity to speak to the loved one that they need to communicate with, whether it's because they weren't there when they passed or they left something unsaid that is burdening them. They need to give them a message, let them know how they feel, because death does not bother those who have passed. It bothers those who are left behind, and this is for those who are left behind. So, we've got a number of people. We've got at least 4 individuals that we're going to be calling forth in the underworld to do that. And how long that takes is going to depend upon what people have to process. Each person will have their opportunity to cry, to scream, to entreat, to speak, to do whatever they feel in the moment. And the idea of these kinds of rituals is to try and be in the moment as much as you can. And I'm sure that will take a little bit of time. It's not like it's a super quick process. And having something from the person, a picture of them, an item that they used, helps with that, bringing them in and so forth. So, if you've never done this before, just don't worry about it. On this night, they'll hear us and they will come, or at least something that resembles them will show up and take the words and the feelings that we have to share. So, after we do that, then it will be the returning through the gates, taking back each thing that we left behind. So on the way back, see, going down, we go Widdershins. Coming back up, we'll go Sunwise, Deosil. And so we'll start at the seventh gate and take back our existence, our individuality, and bring that back with us as we return. And in the sixth gate, we'll take back our sexual identity. At the fifth gate, we will take back our fear if we want to, or at least our survival instinct. In the fourth gate, we will take back whatever it is that we're attached to, that we want to have in our life. At the third gate, we'll again embrace our determination and focus. And the second gate, we will take back our reason and our perception of who we are. And at the first gate, we will take back our title, whatever that might be. And then we will be back in the land in between. When you cast a circle, it's sort of it's a space between the worlds that you're creating, a place where spirit and human can meet and coexist for a brief period of time. And in fact, one of the things I did notice, I wrote down some of Doreen Valiente's poetry, which I really liked, and we use some of it in our ritual. So here is one of her poems. Hear now the words of the witches, the secrets we hid in the night, when dark was our destiny's pathway, that now we bring forth into the light. Mysterious water and fire, the earth and the wide-ranging air, by hidden quintessence we know them, and will keep silent and dare. The birth and rebirth of all nature, the passing of winter and spring, we share with the life universal, rejoice in the magical ring. 4 times in the year the great Sabbath returns and the witches are seen, at Lammas and Candlemas dancing, on May Eve and even an old Halloween. When daytime and nighttime are equal, when sun is at greatest and least, the 4 lesser Sabbaths are summoned, again witches gather and feast. 13 silver moons in a year are, 13 is the covens' array. 13 times that Espats make merry, for each golden year in a day. The power was passed down the ages, each time between woman and man, each century unto the other, ere time and the ages began. When drawn is the magical circle by sword or athame or power, its compass between the worlds lies in the land of the shades for that hour. This world has no right then to know it, and the world of beyond will tell not. The oldest of gods are invoked there. The great work of magic is wrought. For 2 are the mystical pillars that stand at the gate of the shrine, and 2 are the powers of nature, the forms and the forces divine. The dark and the light in succession, the opposites each unto each, shone forth as a god and a goddess. Of this did our ancestors teach. By night he's the wild wind's rider, the horned one, the lord of the shades. By day he's the king of the woodland, the dweller in green forest glades. She is youthful and old as she pleases. She sails the torn clouds in her bark. The bright silver lady of midnight, the crone who weaves spells in the dark. The master and mistress of magic, they dwell in the deeps of the mind, immortal and ever renewing, with power to free or to bind. So drink the good wine to the old gods, and dance and make love in their praise, till Elfame's fair land shall receive us in peace at the end of our days. And do what you will be the challenge, So be it in love that harms none. For this is the only commandment, by magic of old be it done. And I love mostly everything she's ever written. We actually used the last part of that as charging of our shared drink that we often do, starting with when drawn is the magical circle and on from there to the end. And Ian and I, he says one stanza, I say the next stanza, and we mapped it out so that I say the goddess stuff and he says the god stuff. And so it works. So no matter what your tradition is, sort of the purpose of a ritual is to give you an opportunity and give you permission to experience things in a different way, outside of ordinary everyday life and difficulties and distractions and so forth, even if it's only a short ritual. And a lot of the poetry helps to do that because it sort of um, engenders the mind to envision what the words are speaking of and try and helps to carry us into there. Of course, singing and so forth as well. Definitely another way to raise the energy and bring that kind of awareness of sacred space and special time into the area. So anyway, I wanted to share this with you before um, the holiday happens tomorrow. We'll see if we can get it up in the morning. I'm assuming that's what we're going to do. We'll get this up tomorrow morning, if not later tonight, and just share some of this with you. So when you're out there looking at, celebrating, participating in the energy of this time of year, you'll have maybe a little inspiration to help you along. And there's no wrong or right way to do this. Of course, afterwards, obviously, you have to say goodbye to the elements and let them get released and then open the circle by undrawing it. So you come back to everyday reality and then you can talk. I saw a recipe for soul cakes. I think I just saw it yesterday or the day before. I made them this morning. So we have soul cakes, whatever those are, but they're tasty. I'm not sure why they're called soul cakes, but why not, right? Anyway, hope everyone has a fruitful, wrong word, um, empowering time for this time of year. Until next time, this is Siofra's Magic Alcove, and I'm Siofra Bradigan. Blessed be.